David Cameron says your plan to freeze energy prices, we've been talking about that an awful lot recently, is a con because you can't control the wholesale energy price. And he's right, isn't he? You can't. You've got no control over that.
No, he's not right. And, you know, I think people are fed up with a government that is standing up for the big energy companies. And that's why Labour said that if we win the election in 2015, we will freeze prices until 2017. Now, that will be good for consumers, good for businesses, and it will also do something else. It will enable us to reform what is a broken market. And anyone looking at the outrage of what we've seen with British Gas and SSE and some of the other companies will see this isn't working. It's got to change, and that's what we'll do.
But they're making no more money in the pound than the likes of supermarkets in this country. I mean, companies need to make a profit to invest. Are you saying that profit's a dirty word?
No, I'm not saying that, but we do need the investment. But what we're
how
seeing,
will you do that if
well,
you freeze
well, let me
prices?
explain. What we're seeing is the companies taking advantage of a broken market. You see, what happens, and people will know this at home, when wholesale prices go up, your bill goes up. But when wholesale prices come down, your bill stays high. That's why the companies are making the profits they are, and that's why they're taking advantage of a market that's not working. And that's why we say freeze prices and then let's sort out the system.
OK, and you talk about restructuring. You want to do that as well. But would you go as far as renationalising the energy industry if you were in power? No,
I don't think we need to do that. But what we do need to do...
Not?
Well, because I think what we need to do is make competition work properly. Having brought in this price freeze, which we will do, we'll then reform the market and make competition work. And, you know, part of the problem is that 98% of the market is controlled by 6 big energy companies. So when you hear government ministers saying there's a big choice, I don't think most people at home will think that there's a great choice in this market. They'll think it's incredibly hard to be able to find a good deal. That's why we'll sort it out. OK,
the major problem in this country at the moment, I know you've also been talking about a tax on payday loans as well today, another great headline, but it's all about the cost of living and it's all about the fact that wages aren't keeping track with inflation. So shouldn't you be better pressed at increasing wages or putting policies in place to increase wages in the country? Wouldn't that be more useful?
I think there's a couple of things that we can do. We've talked today about the way in which we're going to clamp down on the payday lenders who are frankly charging people exorbitant rates of interest. And we will take action to actually do something about that by capping the cost of credit. And at the same time, we're going to be saying to those payday lenders, you've got to actually pay back into the community so they can help fund the credit unions that provide actually lower cost lending to people. And that is all part of a government that will be on the side of ordinary people and will tackle that cost of living crisis.
And a great headline, and a headline certainly that resonates with many of our viewers, but does this form a coherent, joined-up economic plan? Because you've got lots of headline-grabbing policies. How are they going to work together?
Well, they absolutely do work together because it's about a Labour Party that will stand up for ordinary people against the big, powerful interests in our society, but by taking them on and saying we're going to make these markets work for ordinary people, at the same time as earning our way to a higher cost of living with greater skills, more apprenticeships.
And increasing the minimum wage, perhaps?
I think that is something we should look at, yes. We've said the value of the minimum wage has fallen behind.
Would that be in the manifesto?
We're going to be looking at whether there's a case for that because we have seen the minimum wage fall behind. And, you know, it's all part of a government that's not standing up for a few people at the top, but is actually standing up for ordinary families. And that's what I think this country needs. So a government that will really tackle the cost of living crisis.
So who supplies energy in the Miliband household?
We've just switched as well, actually.
Who switched to?
We switched to, I think it's called First Utility. We switched away from one of the other major suppliers. From one of the other major suppliers. But you know, I think that's the sign of a market that actually isn't working and does need to change.
And you're getting a better deal in the Miliband household?
We are getting a slightly better deal than we were.
How much are you saving, do you know?
I think we've saved, well, certainly the bill for last year was an incredibly high bill, so we're hopefully saving a bit of money.